Alright, so I am headed into school again. It is Wednesday, like the 18th or something like that of March. I'm going in to just go over everything like I do every day, as I've said in previous videos and posts, and then do some parallel parking attempts, which I'm getting better at, and then hopefully they start me driving around the neighborhood. We've only got 3.5 weeks, almost 4 weeks, until I go into the DMV for my driving test, and I have yet to drive around in the city in the semi-trucks. So, but I've been looking at equipment that I want to buy for my trucking career. Things like a Garmin over-the-road trucker GPS, which allows you to put in your truck trailer's clearance height, width, weight, length, all of that stuff, so that you can basically, the Garmin will guide you like around bridges that are too low, or keep you from going down roads that you weigh too much to drive on that road. Stuff that Google Maps will not do. And I'd like to get one of the bigger ones so that I have a more visible screen than some of the smaller ones, because I think there's like a 6-inch one, which is pretty little, up to a 10-inch one, which is fairly large. If they made a 15-inch one, I'd probably go for that. But I think that's probably a little overkill. But anyway, I watch a lot of videos on a channel called Bonehead Truckers, and basically it just points out all these truckers that either A, don't know what they're doing, or B, don't speak English, they crash their truck because they didn't know how to read a sign. They're blocking fuel lanes at the truck stops, so truckers pull in to get fuel and they sit there for hours while this guy's inside taking a shower, stuff like that. But they also do videos of crashes, and a very large portion of the crashes are people that cut in front of a semi and cause a crash, and then try to blame the semi, merging onto the highway and then hitting the brakes, brake checking, and ending up causing a crash. That kind of thing happens constantly. It's a very, very big problem. With that being the case, I would like to have a really good dash cam for the truck, so that when I'm out on the road, there's no chance of someone blaming me for something they intentionally caused. The next one is a CB, and this is the point of the video right now, is that when I was a kid, all truckers had a CB radio. And the purpose of a CB radio is to communicate with other truckers in your immediate vicinity, because you can't know what's happening around you as well as all of the truckers that are communicating with each other. So if I'm driving up through, say, Laramie to Cheyenne, Wyoming in the winter, and we're in a blizzard, a guy in a truck 4 miles ahead of me excuse me, could call me on the CB, or call everybody on the CB that has one, and say, hey, mile marker whatever, there's a big patch of ice and trucks are going off the road, and every year there's a pile up right there, if not more than one, and yet nobody has CB radios anymore. And the reason they don't have CB radios anymore is because everybody got cell phones, and they seem to think that their cell phone is adequate for communication. But I don't know any other truckers' phone numbers around me. I can't call another truck driver 4 miles behind me and say, hey, I just saw a crash at mile marker 13, because I don't have his phone number and he doesn't have my phone number. And so that doesn't happen. So we have these huge crashes because, unlike back in the 70s, where truckers would be chit-chatting over the radio, over the CB, nobody does that. Well, not very many people do that anymore. So I would like to restart that. I think that that's going to be a big thing with this channel when I get it up to popularity. We need to get the American trucking culture back to what it was in the 70s and early 80s, where truckers helped each other. You know, that's how it is in the boating community. If you have a problem, you can get on the radio, call your fellow boaters, and they will come and help you. And that's almost a global thing through what essentially is a CB. So we need to get the same thing going on trucking again. And of course, the people who don't speak any English, they can do it too, but they're going to have to be on a station that everybody can understand them. They're going to have to talk to each other. But, you know, when we're talking about non-domiciled and all that sort of stuff, wouldn't it be great if we were able to build a community of American citizen truckers versus, you know, that garbage? You know what I mean? Where we have a culture, and who cares if they have their own culture? I mean, that's fine. They're supposed to be becoming part of our culture by moving into this country, but they choose not to do that. They choose not to speak English. This trucking school, just the last few days, we've had a guy that returned from 6 months ago. He just came back to the school. He got his permit in Chinese in California. He doesn't speak a lick of English. The instructor can't tell him anything because he doesn't speak any English at all. The DMV will not test you in Chinese, so we don't even understand why this guy's here. But he's supposed to be doing straight backs and offset, and he keeps getting into the parallel parking truck, and he has absolutely no idea what he's doing, and nobody can instruct him because he doesn't speak any English. We don't understand why he's even trying, because the DMV cannot test him in Chinese, and he doesn't understand any English. I tried to explain this through a translator. You know, the guy's a perfectly nice guy. I got nothing against that. But you can't drive a commercial truck in the United States anymore. They can't issue you a driver's license unless you speak English. So what's he doing here? I mean, I believe he already paid before any of this happened. So I think the school's obligated to you know, have him here. But I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, I think we need to get back into that. We need to start having these communications. We need to start having CB radios. We need to start having that chitter chatter that used to be a famous part of trucking, so that we can talk to each other on the road. We can tell each other, hey, you know, just saw, you know, a cop doing roadside inspections at mile marker 50. I mean, you know, I'm not saying that you should avoid that guy, but, you know, it'd be nice to know he was coming. Anyway, see ya.